Okay, in this particular problem we're asked to solve using quadratic formula. So the first thing we want to do is clear out our denominators so we have a function, or an equation I should say, that has no fractional denominators. No, that's the easiest way of solving this. So we'll go through and we'll find the least common multiple between 12 and 6. That'd be 12, so we'd multiply every term by 12. So that would give us x squared minus 2x is equal to 12. So we multiplied both the left and the right hand sides by the number 12. That clears out our denominator. Next thing we'll do is collect all terms to the left hand side. So we'll subtract 12 from both sides, setting that equal to 0, because in order to use the quadratic formula we need to be able to identify our a, our b, and our c values. And to be able to do that properly we have to have everything on the left hand side. We first of all check to see if this will factor. We do that in one of two ways. We do that by looking, if our leading coefficient is 1, we look at our constant term and see what the factors of 12 are. In this case, the factors of 12 are 1 and 12, or 2 and 6, or 3 and 4, and none of those have a sum or difference of 2. So we know that this thing won't factor anymore, okay, or we know this won't factor the way it's written. So we're going to have to identify our a values to be able to apply the quadratic formula, a, b, and c. So a is 1, b is -2, and c is -12. Next, we'll apply the quadratic formula, which we know is x is equal to -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And we'll just replace those numbers inside there as they appear. X is equal to -b plus or minus pardon me, the square root of, I guess since I know the b I can put it in there. The opposite of -2 is a +2, and then we have -2 squared minus 4 times a is 1 times c is -12 all over 2 times a, which was 1. And then we'll go x is equal to, we'll rewrite that fraction again as 2 plus or minus the square root well, if the computer will cooperate, plus or minus the square root of -2 squared, which is +4, minus 4 times 1 is 4, times -12 is -48. All that over 2 times 1, which is 2. And we'll go through and we'll clear up the fraction as best we can. We'll combine the 4 and the -48. And so we'll have x is equal to 2 plus or minus the square root of 52, all that over 2. And then for some reason my screen does something really weird. Okay, so we'll get x equals, now we need to break up 52. And I'm going to do this a little differently than normal since I'm using this computer program here, Word and the screen capture. Okay, I'm going to go, that's 2 plus or minus. Then I'm going to break out the square root of 52. And I'm going to break it up into its prime factors. Well, 52 is 2 times 26. So we have 2 times 26, which is 2 times 13. So we'll go 2 times 2 times 13. All over 2. And then the next thing we'll do is we'll recognize that we can take out, since we have a square root, we're looking for pairs of numbers. We have a pair of 2's here, so we'll be able to take those out as 1. That comes out as 1 number 2. So we'll make that two plus or minus 2 square roots of 13 all over 2. And then our final step will be to see that both the section in front of the plus or minus and the section after the plus or minus are both divisible by 2. So we can divide everything out, or we can factor out a 2. That may be an easier way of understanding that. We're going to factor out a 2 from the numerator because we recognize that we have a 2 in the denominator. So that will leave us with 1 plus or minus the square root of 13 over 2. And then our final step will be to divide out our 2 in the numerator and our 2 in the denominator, and we will be left with x is equal to 1 plus or minus the square root of 13. And that is the simplest. That is as simple as we can get that. That's as far as we can go with the problem, and so we'll call that our answer. And so remember, when you type that into the program, you have to put in 1 plus the square root of 13, and then outside close your comma, and then 1 minus the square root of 13. Hope that helps.